All right then. Hello everyone and welcome to day one of the NEF1 Season 10 testing that we're doing for this pre-season. It was a 2-hour and 15-minute stream yesterday to unveil absolutely everything about the new season, including calendar and driver lineups, and now finally we have them in the seats. They are going to be racing in. We've got 15 people in for this first practice session. Hopefully maybe another one showing his face in just a little bit. That is Djokovic, who just realized he's got to change his iconic number 30 because a certain Liam Lawson decided to nick it off him, which we just completely missed. So that's two champions having to select a new number, both him and Test changing 77. As to Djokovic, that'll be a massive surprise. 15 drivers then, as we'll see how this session progresses. Not going to too much of a competitive session, you would imagine. It's going to be a bit of a learning experience for me as well to see how streaming works on this game, what the quality is going to be, and everything. So it's going to be very, very interesting. And hopefully the stream is up and running as it should be. Please let me know if it is as well. We're about a minute and a half into this session. No one's out on track as of yet, but we have movement down at Aston Martin. The first car out on track is returning driver Marcus 97. So he's the first car out on track in Season 10 here in NEF1 in that Aston Martin. Looks very, very good indeed. It's a sharp looking game this as compared to the old one as well. We'll disable that tire off for the time being just to kind of get rid of it. We were hoping to get a couple of co-commentators on. Right now that is working, let's say, less than desirably well. So you would imagine maybe for this first session we're going to have a couple of difficulties. Try to get Tess in a bit earlier. Doesn't seem to appear to work. We'll investigate that in the break between next session, between this session next, and also in the day that is to come, so we can hopefully get a couple of people on for day 2, and also the season that is coming up. A couple of new new camera shots on boards, which is very, very nice to see. What I'm thinking as well is that the game audio is very, very low, so I might just have to up that. Let me know if the audio is actually audible at all. If it isn't, then we'll have to increase it by a little bit until that audio bouncing is good. And this is why we do pre-season testing as well, just to make sure we smooth out every single issue, every small issue. We actually get started in less than a week's time now, 6 days before we go lights out in Bahrain. Noah 48 then starts his first flying lap in practice here at Abu Dhabi in that new RB. Looks absolutely gorgeous. ABT back into the McLaren where he has won a Constructors' Championship in the past, and Wigan for the first time, and I believe in that Williams. Very, very solid looking car as well. And a nice and blue helmet as always. Holman still in the pit lane. And for the first time in the F1, M. Reina out on second in a very, very bright green car. And that's going to be interesting to look at this season for sure. Luna out as well. Bit further ahead on circuit. She's already started her first flying lap. That's followed by Jamers heading down to the hairpin. That's so Max Verstappen clinched the title away from Lewis Hamilton back in 2021. Alright then, so about an hour this practice session. We'll be blabbering on a little bit. Hopefully, we're really hoping to get those interviews working to just be able to improve this a bit further. Doesn't seem like that's going to be working one bit. So I'll just have to blab on for about an hour now in testing what is no competitive running whatsoever, and basically nothing's going to happen except for these drivers just getting used to the new cars, getting laps in. We won't be at this track up until the last race of the season as well, so the practice they are doing now is not going to show for too much, as Marcus says the first time of this session. So 26.631 is a good time straight off the bat. You can tell no one at 27.544, but he is on that hard tire, which is not going to fire up as well and is not as grippy as Luna's come around the final couple of corners. Now is she flat through the penultimate one? Almost, by the look of things. Maybe just a slight lift off, as now coming across line to set her first flat sessions 130 flat, and Jamar following through with the 27.790 in that Ferrari, which is it's not too telling, is it? It's not too telling one bit. As Eli, I believe that is saying hello in chat. Hello, buddy. How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Hopefully you're enjoying it. It's been a while. How you doing? As then Wigan and Ondercheck out on circuit. Ondercheck in his RB now that he is going to be hoping can lead him his second NEF1 championship, picking up a little bit of a slipstream from that Sauber ahead, which I believe could be Luna by the look of things, of where they are on track. I believe Imrani has just come through that second, the hairpin, not the second chicane. I don't know what I'm on about at all. Actually, I'm already just gone this season. That's good. Sure, it's a good sign of things to come. Yeah, and also Eli, good to hear. I'm doing very, very well, thank you. Season 10 already, so quite a lot of things have happened. It's a very, very different league now from what it was back in the days when you were racing with us. But I believe the core remains the same style of racing, just a bit quicker by the look of things. Sam Obama now out on track for the first time this season as well in his Alpine, and that is a gorgeous, gorgeous looking car from the onboard. To get a bit of a glitch, and I believe hopefully they fixed that with the day one patch, that there was some sort of issue with the DRS smoke effects, and it does appear very stuttery at the moment. Does footage from certain drivers, especially the two Alpines of Matty and Sam. Will go on board with them in just a little bit of time to see if that smooths itself out. Nice blue and yellow helmet that for Noah, and I believe I'm gonna be enjoying that helmet over the course of the season. Obviously, I'm very, very biased as to those particular set of colours. As Wiggins come across for a 27.254, about half a second quicker than Jamar, bodes well for him straight off the bat on that hard tyre. It's not a bad lap at all. Noah's gone fastest on his hard tyre on a 126.188, half a second quicker than Macus, but obviously we're not going to take anything into account from these lap times, as Macus have just set a 27.5 on his second attempt there. Matty is coming round the long sweeping left-hander now, and by the look of things not very speedy. He's not been quick on this lap at all. Second opening lap potentially, as on board with the Mercedes for the first time. Both Tess and Iwatts have found a way out on track. Mr. Wilco is the only one yet to have made an appearance, I believe, but so is Holman and Recon out on circuit, and hopefully we can getting Recon on the stream a go in a little bit of time. We'll wait and see, potentially for the last 15 minutes of this session before we're heading into Spain for the second hour of testing here tonight. So there's going to be 4 hours in total, divided over 2 hours per day. 4 different circuits. It is going to be Abu Dhabi followed by Spain on day 1. Day 2 is going to be open up with Silverstone in reverse and closed out with Bahrain, which coincidentally as well, it's not is the opening lap, or the opening race should be said, of the NEF1 Championship. Holman then coming around the actual chicane, there's only one on the circuit, and heading into the same sweeping left-hander we just saw Matty in, I believe. How rapidly is it going to be approaching that corner? Quite calm and collected, down to 4th gear. It's actually quite aggressively down to gears. Usually probably taking that corner in 5th, if I'm not mistaken, just trying to get the drive through. And there's a lot of smoke effects on this game as well, but look at things, it looks like the stream quality has been massively improved on this game, and the kind of stutteriness of it has been removed. So hopefully what you're seeing now is more enjoyable than what it has been before. Sadly I wasn't able to run HDR in Dolby. That is just the fault of Twitch, as Holman jumps straight into the top 3 with a 26.638, just a couple of thousandths of a second off his teammate Macus. Interesting lineup. It's a 1-2 at the moment for RB, with Noah leading charge from Ondercheck in P2, who just came across for his fastest lap, 126.517. And then we have Recon, Iwatts and Mr. Wilco, the only drivers yet to us at the time. That is a lovely lid that for Recon, kind of a checkerboard pattern on it. Looks very, very good, as Matty has left the session. Rage quitted after about 10 minutes worth of running on this game. Won't be seeing him for the remainder of the season. I'm just kidding. as Recon goes through into 6th place on a 26.878, and iWatts now is the next driver that will set a competitive lap time. We'll try to get Matty on as soon as we can again. We're expecting Matty on co-commentary for a bit during the Spanish practice session. That's coming up in about an hour. We'll be enjoying mine and Matty's voice for yet even more time after not listening to it enough yesterday as it is. As iWatts then invalidates his lap quite late on, and that leaves only Mr. Wilco now, and obviously iWatts on another attempt. Is that a neon? Is that a teal and bright pink helmet? I believe it is. Looks very, very good. As that's a good lap from Holman. That set a 125.514 on a set of hard tires, mind you, as well. But it's a big field spread down to Luna's about a 130.331. And we're hoping that that's not a sign of the Sauber to come, let's just say that. That is a bright looking car, but it actually looks gorgeous on this game. I didn't think it would. It looks really, really good. And it's a McLaren and a Ferrari battling along with each other. Former teammates, as a fellow by Jamar and a BT, finding a way with each other on track now. First drivers really find each other on track, but look things as well. As BT's not going to hold Jamar up too much and goes straight through. Let's just get Matty another little invite here to see if we can get him back on. As worryingly enough, I can't even find him on my invite list. So we'll give that another go in a little bit of time, won't we? As we're currently on board with Wigan through the hairpin and know how the audio balancing is. If it's decent or if I have to massively increase, not upcrease, Jesus Christ. If I had to massively increase the engine noises of the cars coming through, because you do want a little bit of that as well. So then Wigan running a bit wide through that hairpin. As Matt is saying, increase engine noises. I will do. So let's actually go into my audio settings and see what they are. They are quite low, so we'll do this. Increase the master volume to about there and see what's what. I don't know if that's better. Let me know if it is or if I have to increase it even more. It does feel quite low. It feels a bit unbalanced audio on this game, really. Like it's really, really, really loud sometimes, and sometimes it just disappears completely. Bamo currently sitting in P9, the Alpine, 127.4 is his best time, followed by the reigning NEF1 champion of tests on 127.512, running Lewis Hamilton helmet there, I believe from 2017 or 2014 perhaps. It should be one of the older ones, maybe 27, look at things. Forgive me if I'm wrong, I'm not a Lewis Hamilton expert. As here is Jamar as well, currently sitting in 11th still. iWatts has pushed BT down to 13th. He's got his first lap time on the board. It's a 128.468 for that Mercedes. About a second off his teammate at the moment, but as said, this is testing, and these drivers can go faster when they want to. As Matty, I'm gonna give you an invite in just a minute and see if we can find you on this famous list. And there we go. An invite has been sent out. Okay, so apparently the engine noises are a bit better now. Let me know if I need to increase them further, if there's a good balance between it. Luna then, 14 fastest, Matty 15 fastest. Wilco has yet to set a time, yet to appear out on track as well. Is he still in the lobby? It's impossible for me to see. We're hoping he is. Let me know if you're not Wilco and I'll get you another invite. We shall wait and see for just a little bit as Holman is continuing on out front, but the pace has dropped off significantly. And we can see that with Noah as well. Djokovic currently sitting in P3 on a 26.490. Has to improve a second on that tire in order to challenge at the very front. Let's see, I don't know if Djokovic's made a final decision on his race number yet, but see if we can see that on the car somehow. By the look of things, 94, I want to say. Indeed, it is 94 at the moment for Djokovic. We'll see if that sticks or if he likes to go for something else. He's got a couple of days to decide. So at the moment, a lot of people haven't set the best lap time on hard tyres. The ones sticking out are Reina, Makis and Luna that have done otherwise. Now everyone basically on hard tyres except the two Saubers of Reina and Luna in 2nd and 14th respectively. So there's a big gap between them at the moment, but that will close down. So then we have the first significant yellow flag and maybe the first spin of the season as well. That is Wigan, who is facing the wrong way in the 3rd sector. Don't know what's going on there, and for some reason I can't look back when I'm on board. Now I can. I couldn't move Wigan for whatever reason though. Now I can. That's good. So let's see even if he can just regain a bit of form on this lap. It's a good looking car that as well. It's just getting used to the different style of graphic on this game as well. It does look so much better, and by the look of things, the quality on stream appears well better as well. Reports that Matty's time was set by AI as well, which is why it's 1:41.801. It's an absolutely dreadful time if it would have been competitive, which it isn't. 16.5 seconds off the pace is Matty Adam at the moment then, and that seemed lapped in about 5 or 6 laps. Which would be an absolute catastrophe for the one-time NEF1 champion going for a second one here. And now, let's see what he's going to be able to do on this lap. So I'll just leave you on time this season. Here is Matty Adam 98 around Abu Dhabi for his first proper go this season. As here we go, and round in the final corner with Matty Adam 98. It's going to be a very big improvement up to P10, just ahead of his teammate by 2/10 of a second. There's the gap between Matty Adam and Samo Bamo, so still about 1.6 off Holman's time. But it could be very different pushing circumstances. By the look of things, there's a lot of ERS left on Matty's depletion. Let's have a go at where the telemetry actually ends up. It's down there at the very bottom, which I'm not a big fan of. That's probably not going to be utilized too much, as it never is on streamers. It could give people an unfair advantage. I will be trying to use it a bit under crucial moments for stewarding, such as car restarts, stuff like that. But as for normal racing scenarios, I don't think it'll be that too much. There's no real point on it as well. Right now it's about 5-second field spread from Holman to as the skies are starting to set over Abu Dhabi now, going from that sunset into a night sky look, which is going to be absolutely gorgeous. I don't know if it's on my end why a couple of cars are lagging, or if it's the game not really wanting to play ball with me right now. I'm going to try something between these sessions to see if I can work that problem. I'll wait and see how that goes. But I'm going to give something a little go, which could affect the stream. So if this ends up being split into 2 sessions, you know why. But we are going to a loading screen in between these sessions as well, just so I'm able to set up the new one accordingly. We still have 40 minutes to go in this session before we start making those types of changes though. As Tess now fully on the night sky by the look of things throws his car into the sweeping left-hander that is the opening of sector 3. Not even gonna try to give it a corner name because I wouldn't know that I'd be making a massive fool out of myself. And here we go into the third sector underneath the hotel. Looks absolutely gorgeous on the game with lights flashing. Nice flowing session. It's a nice flowing sector that has been ever since they revamped it. With quite a lot of braking zones though. As there we go, Tess sliding around the final corner. Is it going to be an improvement? Not even close. 1.8 second off as Recon is being hauled into the pit lane in his Haas. Mac is coming in as well, and we're now starting to see a couple of people in the pit lane, maybe switching up to a different type of running. Djokovic still out there, having missed a little bit in the early stages of this session. Noah's already out on medium, so he's got that going quite early on. You would imagine then is going to go medium, hard to medium, and then a couple of soft runs at the end. Maybe one to establish tire wear. Actually even qualifying runs if you want to give away that much. That is quite telling. Beat is not having a great session so far on the hard tires, currently sitting in 14th on 129.639. Simon not giving anything away or not quite getting to grips with this McLaren as of yet. We'll wait and see which is which. Luna's out there as well, invalidating quite a couple of laps. It's a very bright screen you got there with the bright pink and bright blue helmet with the bright neon green and white car with white logos on it of that Sauber. It's a very, very bright look for Luna in the night sky. As here comes Noah following one of the Alpines. Is he going to dive it down inside? Yes, he is. The Alpine made it a bit easy for him. Who was that? Could that have been Matty potentially? It would have been. Didn't make it too difficult on Noah that to go through. Noah's on a medium turn right now, improving by a rate that see him up at P1. So here we go, man. Rounds the final corner. Does Noah still a validated lap? And he goes second quickest. A couple of hundredths of seconds after Holman that. But we are starting to see competitive running now. I'm rain a lovely yellow and green from her there. Lovely, lovely, lovely. As Djokovic now still 1.8 seconds down on the hard tire. It should be getting quite worn down. I don't know if you can see that on stream, but the tire effects have actually been massively upgraded on this game. Kind of more of an HD model where you can actually start seeing some wear on them, some type of blistering. I don't know if that'll change over the course of the accuracy if it does, and I should be able to see if it does. Because it's much more blank and kind of a flat surface on Noah's tire. So I should be able to actually spot tire wear on this game now, which is going to be very interesting. And I hope that's the case as well. But that's something we'll discover over the first couple of races, I'm sure, if it's actually accurate. As Recon is out in the Haas now under a fully dark sky. So now everything's lit up in a very, very nice and bright lighting. And the cars look absolutely gorgeous. It should be worth saying as well that the Spanish testing session, that's the first contact of the season, I believe, involving Recon and a BT. I believe this was misunderstanding on the straight. It is worth pointing out as well that these sessions run without damage. So if you make a mistake, you won't be too punished for it. You won't have the session ended prematurely. And also they'll be set to weather conditions just to make sure that you get that optimal practice in. There are going to be some wet races over the course of the season. There always are, as there is a percentage of it around every track. Even the desert ones like Bahrain, I think it's a 0.5% chance of rain around there. But in order for everyone to get the best possible grip of the game and for us to give us some entertainment, we are having these sessions set to dry weather conditions. lot of marble or a lot of wear on Luna's tyres now, and she's coming in to change those. That's a massive amount of wear, actually. So Luna, I'd be very interested to know, judging off how your tyres look, how many percentage are those tyres on? If you want to tell me, that'd actually be really fun to see. As J Marvan, the start-finish rate in the number 8 Ferrari, which just looks, for whatever reason, having a one-digit number on that Ferrari. J-Mo would love it to be the number 1, but it's not quite the case as of now. As for next season, you'll never know. Wigan, currently out on track on the mediums as well. And now Noah's at the fastest lap of the session, so 1:25.3. As for Holman, he's had a massive slap of understeer coming out of the hotel, which has probably thrown his lap into the bin. Yeah, it has. 1.9 seconds off the pace. Samrena's out there pushing. Luna's in the pit lane now. Recon is out there hunting for time, but he's not going to do it on this lap. As Djokovic's still out there on what now appears to be a very worn set of hard tires that aren't going to give away too much in terms of performance. And that's a bit of performance for you. iWatts nabbing into the top 5 with 126.179. As here comes Matty again, his teammate still remaining in the pit lane. How's a beat again along? Fastest lap is still 129.639. Is he really struggling that much with that McLaren, or is he just pushing the tires to the absolute limit right now? I'm not seeing too much wear on them. Yellow flags for a brief moment there, but those have been quite quickly corrected. Now we have Mr. Wilco out on circuit as well. Finally, it's taken us quite a while, but now the second half is out. Let's see if he can get close to his teammate here on the first attempt. 25.9 to beat. It's not quite going to be near. It's going to be about a second off. 27.1. Puts him up to P11 ahead of both Alpines, just behind Wigan by about 0.2 of a second. As said, it is only testing Mac, as we expect good things from him now on this tyre as well. He's going on a fast run quite early on a set of soft tyres. With 32 minutes to go here, we're starting to see the softs appear now. So Mac, as we are expecting quick lap times from this guy now, you would imagine he's jumping straight into P1, but he's not going to do so on this lap. He's not going to be anywhere near an improvement. 2 seconds down, unless he's sandbagged somewhere on the lap to just make that time look unconvincing. And BT's causing yellow flag at the moment. I don't know if he's had an incident or if he's just going slowly. I would assume the latter. Mercedes coming up on the scene. I believe that is iWatts on an invalidated lap already heading into the hairpins. We'll go off him. Matty now on a set of mediums, and Alpine looks very, very dark underneath that lighting, actually. The pink pops well better than the blue does, I'll tell you that. And Samo's now going to get a lovely tow off of Reina as well. For that reason, he's decided to completely back out of it as well. Ah, he's on an out lap, to be fair. It's not going to be a timed lap anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Here we go then, Matty coming across line 2, top 7 at 26.225 is a good lap indeed. Less than a second off P1, which I believe might have been a push lap for Noah that, judging by how good it is at 25.3, but these drivers have a better understanding of that than I do, as Ullman is now out there hunting time. Yellow flags in sector 3, I believe it's on the start-finish straight. It's a pass that's gone wrong, as Recon is slow on the outside of the track. Let's Williams go. Now could get massively in the way of an Aston Martin. It's already backed out. It's these types of situations you especially have to manage in a qualifying condition. So then, now we're gonna go into the race director just a little bit, and as you can see here, it's a lot of exceeded track limits over the course of. There's a couple of speeding in the pit lane, but that's not really gonna matter in a practice session. But a lot of laps being invalidated. And track limits around here are relatively tricky, as you do have to push them quite a bit. As here comes Holman in his number 88 Aston Martin. A bit coming out of the final corner. Might that just be that bit of sandbagging that we could see from certain people? Tess was accused yesterday of sandbagging by Matty Adam 98 on stream, wasn't he? And right now, currently sitting in P11. I would be inclined to agree with Matty on that. Possible to judge. Mac is not having the stint of his life on the soft tire and is coming in to replace them just now then. How's Luna get along? Currently sitting in 16th on a set of hard tires. I believe you're only given one for a practice session like this, so make good use of them. It would be nice if you could go into a practice session like this with an unlimited amount of tires. That's something that really should add in. So you can basically do whatever you want over a session. No DRS open for Luna, interestingly enough, so it's probably quite a nice run that she's on. So through sector 3 then, see what she's going to be able to get done, as Noah has messaged us that it wasn't a push lap that he set as well. That 25.3, so there's more pace in that even on the medium tires then. That's a good line that from Luna. Coming around the final corner, keeping inside the track limits and up to a 29. As we now a BT family in last place, Jamar in 14th. They're not going to be concerned about this though. It's not that type of running where it is really going to matter. Mr. Wilco in 13th, Tess in 12th. It's a weird running order at the moment. But I'm quite interested to see what Holman's going to be able to do when chips are down. And the session just gets a bit quicker towards the end. Perhaps. Wait and see. As said, we're expecting, hopefully, for the last, say, 10 to 15 minutes of this session, a appearance from Recon on stream as well. But since it didn't work with Tess, we'll see how it works. As for Matt later on, we've tried that yesterday, haven't we? And we knew it worked back then. It's a nice line that from Djokovic with quite a lot of time to go now. So you would imagine this is going to be a relatively competitive lap. A 25 flat for Djokovic could go straight up to the top of the timetable with that lap. And I don't think he was pushing overly hard on it as well. So that's good pace shown that from Djokovic. Wing at the moment up in P4, half a second off that. Again, I don't think he pushed too much on it. Seemingly the former Alpine duo have massively upped their pace in the Williams. We'll wait and see. There's a long way still to go in this session. There's yet another hour at the end of this, and then 2 more hours before we get the season started. So quite a bit to do before we get the season started. Obviously, practice in the private as well. No Squid here today, I believe, for a technical problem with his PC, perhaps. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but he is one of the guys that about getting a PC, and this is exactly the reason why I'm not. Matty being one of them as well, whilst I'm still staying very, very true to my beloved Xbox, like a lot of the OG drivers that have been here from the very start. That includes Wigan, Jamar, iWatts, and BT. But we are now coming to a point where I believe we're an Xbox minority, even maybe even less than the PlayStation guys when everyone's in, which that feels a bit difficult. Does feel a bit difficult. But times are progressing. Most people are transitioning over to PC, anyways, or already have been done. racing scene has been much bigger on PC, hasn't it? For, oh, basically forever. Who was that who crossed the yellow flag coming through the left-hander? That was Wigan just a moment ago. As Noah's out there and he's heading for that very, very tricky chicane. It's decent under braking, but it's so hard to get right on the exit. Feathering the throttle around there, and now up to speed, starting to deploy some back straight, heading into that sweeping left-hander. It should be a 5th gear corner, I believe. 4th gear actually, so I might have gone that wrong. Or it's under a very low fuel load on a qualifying lap. That's a 5th gear corner. Quite a lot of cars coupled together right now. It's a bit of a train going on with... That's Mr. Wilco at the back of it. There's an Alpine and... was it a Williams or an RB in front of that? There's a lot of blue dots on this track map. Now a bit too many. Please do something about it. Reshuffle the Haas to some sort of dark red. That'll make the RB white. Just to ease up a little bit. See, going slowly there. Just let that go. So, and his teammate at the moment is up in 6th place. Recon's taking 2nd place away from Noah and Holman on 125.240. Now let's see what Samo's going to be able to do on a more competitive run, I would imagine. Oh, that was very, very close to the track limit for Samo Bamo, but it's not going to be an improvement on this lap, I'm telling you. Not even going to be close to it. It's going to be a 128.5, 128.7. in the end. As here comes Makistan, who's looking quick at the start of the session, hasn't really progressed anywhere from there. Now on a set of soft tyres again, and a purple sector 1. So we're going to see what the Aston Martin ends up at the end of this lap, or if he sandbags. Puffs of smoke coming off his rear axle, heading into the braking zone at the chicane. All right on the exit, a little bit of wheel spin you could probably hear there just in the background of me talking. And now heading into sector 3 with the split coming up, and he is massively up on his time. He's going to gain even further time, and now through this fast technical sector 3, which is really the place where you gain or where you make or break a lap. A lot of time to be found, there's a lot of time to be lost through a single mistake here as well. Underneath the hotel, oh, this is a nice camera shot. Please give me a couple more of these throughout the season if we're on an off-board battle. Through the entirety of sector 3, through that off-board shot then, and over the line for Makis and up to P4 ahead of his teammate Holman, just behind Noah on 25.3. So it's not been a push like that from Max, I don't believe, but it's been an all lap on the softs. So then Recon out on certain soft tyres as well. Djokovic still staying calm on his mediums. 20 minutes ago now, so it is starting to wrap up. Only a third session left. BT has gotten up to the 26.6s. It's not been a telling show from a couple of these drivers so far. We've not seen too much of Tess at all this session, who's kept it quite anonymous. He's currently sitting in a very humble P11, just out of his teammate, on a 26 flat, behind Onashek, behind Jamer, and behind Reina has fallen down a bit, with, I believe, not making the most of those medium tyres that is now going off, you would imagine. So now it's time to see people out on the softs. Wigan and Matty, former teammates for many, many seasons then. Orman is on the soft, and he will be coming up to the sector 2 split, sorry, in not too long. Not a perfect line going through that chicane, but it's going to cost them quite a bit of time running over the soft curb on the inside like that. As here we go, yeah, 2 seconds down is not going to tell us too much, but it's going to tell him a lot if he just back down heading in sector 1 potentially, and that's something. Hard tyres again for Lunas. Not the first time we've seen those tyres on that Sauber. Very conservative. They look quite finished. He's coming out of that chicane in first gear. Does he have to go into first to maintain any sort of rotation? That is a shredded tyre if that's the case. First gear, there's one corner in F1 you go first gear at. And it's definitely not around here. It's on the other side of the ocean in Europe. Not the other side of the ocean, we're non-Americans of us. It's up a little bit into Europe and Monaco. Oh, as that's a snap of oversteer for Samo. Bam on the exit of the left-hander heading into sector 3, and it's done very well to catch that actually. As now we have both the Mercedes out as well. There's a car wheeling like a madman ahead of him, those high watts. Probably be quite synchronized as what each other are doing. Imagine, I think they've been synchronized last season. So here comes Wiggin to cross the line on his set of soft tyres. Goes quickest out of anyone, does Wiggin 71 on a 24.821, and we just love to see it. As Matty's going to be following him through in sector 3 in just a moment, you would imagine. I haven't got a sector time on Matty yet though, unfortunately missed those. But it's a Williams 1-2 here with 17, nearly 18 minutes left to go in this free practice around Abu Dhabi. Okay, so this lap is invalidated. What time would have been for Matty? Would have been a 25.1. Would have placed him third with that lap. As Tess has gone massively quick there on the 24.171. It's a lot quicker than Wiggin. 7/10 of a second. Say 6.5. To be fair on Wiggin there, I believe. Yeah, exactly 6.5. The math is improving, everyone. It's happening slowly, but it is happening, hopefully. It's a gradual improvement from what has been. I don't think the math was too good back when I was 18 years old and started doing commentary on this league, but it should have gone up at least a level or two. As Ondrejek goes second fastest, 4/10 off test there, just showing how good my maths again. That's quite far off. But Ondrejek second fastest, Wiggin third fastest, Djokovic still remaining on a medium tyre, Sven. My controller batteries are low, that's something that's going to have to be rectified in between sessions as well. So keep in mind, it'll only be a couple of minutes after this session's ended that a new one will be up, so make sure to join that straight away. Make sure to invite your friends as well, so we can just have a smooth and quick transition over. Because that session will be getting underway relatively quickly. So here we go, Iwat slowing down at the end of sector 3. Is that him coming into the pit lane? There's two ghosting Mercedes and a Ferrari coming up off Jamar, but he's starting a fly now. So is Holman and Reina. How's Luna doing? Still on that hard tyre. Which is so worn down by now, you can just see how that car wants to go in every single turn. An invalidated lap from James early on here. Matty is not improving, but he should be up a bit faster. P5 at the moment. As with 15 minutes ago, it's soon time to try to get Recon into the stream if we can. Just give it another minute, see how these laps develop. Right now we have no out on a fast lap, so the next opportunity I get where everything feels a bit calm, Recon, that's when I'll try to get you an invite and see if we can get this sorted. Hopefully, we'll see what the see what the outcome is. Here comes Noah Van, well, massively extending the track limits there and somehow getting away with it. But he's not improving through the second sector. How about the third sector? You should be able to gain quite a bit of time through here if you're pushing. It doesn't look like it's going slow. Actually, that red light is flashing, probably indicating quite low battery mode at the moment. It's not a hot lap, I can tell you that. Leaving and taking it easy in the last couple of corners. Is this now going to be a quick lap for Noah, is my question. Battery's been deployed already. So something's happening with Noah at the moment. Darren's left the session, potentially not able to join straight away. We'll get him in for Spain, hopefully, then. Darren Stahl will be partnering a BT in that McLaren. Okay, so Luna's finally in the pits off that hard tyre, I would imagine. Hopefully it'll yield her some better fortunes. We're going to give Recon a go here and see if we can get him in. So just hold on a brief moment, else I'll be back very, very shortly. Okay, so that is a pending invite at least. We'll see how everything else transpires, and just that's happened. Had a massive tank slap of someone, could have been under check. Currently taking the weirdest of racing lines back and forth over the circuit, and we've got a coming up to the scene. That's a Reina. How is Via Sauber doing? Be improving on this lap, that's for sure. Twelve and a half minutes ago here in Abu Dhabi. Van Reina not improving. Jamar into the pit lane. iWatts is P13. And Tess is reporting lag on. Very much not ideal. Please let me know how it is at the moment. So, what's that on lap? A BT on a set of mediums. Luna, has she switched over to any type of interesting tyre at the moment? Soft tyres on for, well, basically everyone. It's just BT fancying being special right now. So let me know how the stream quality, if the lag been cleared up. I really hope that it has. If it hasn't, might have to make some sort of adjustment heading into the next session. Same problem for undercheck. It's there, but not anything horrible. Okay, we'll continue working on that, and I believe I might just have a hot fix ready. We'll definitely be looking at making changes into the next session. Into the next day of testing, then, which is going to be first day, same time, 2 sessions at Silverstone, Reverse, and Bahrain. So it's going to be quite a different day of testing, as well as Luna's out on circuit at the moment on soft tyres. So that'll hopefully give us something representative. Djokovic moves straight up into the top 3 ahead of his teammate by 59 thousandths of a second. Djokovic up at P3 then on a 24.6 flat. Sam Obama, Holman keeping behind Mr. Wilco and Recon, and now Matty moves up to P2 with a very good lap of 24.476. Is that a full qualifying lap? We'll wait and see. If it is, then Tess with a big advantage here, out early on a 24.171. Currently running in P5. It is a that's a very promising sign that for already potentially improving on this game. Sam on P6, Holman in P7, Mr. Wilco and Recon 8th and 9th, and Noah in 10th, but I don't think we've seen the best of Noah so far. I don't think he's been one to show us necessarily as well. So then, he's just finishing up a lap that by the look of things is a bit more on the pushy side. Now then, around the final couple of corners, flat through the penultimate corner, now down to third gear on the exit, or on the entry of the last one, and all the way up to P6 for Noah 48. And I'm going to try joining a party invite that I just received from Recon as well, and we'll see how it works. So just give me a moment here. As we're saying hello, Recon as well. Have you got a little checkbox to include your audio on stream as well? Is that something that you've got? Very if you're actually being heard on stream, or if you've not, there should be some sort of checkbox. There is on Xbox, mind you. But we'll see. Please let us know in chat if you're not out on track, if you're hearing anyone else but me. It's weird when you're doing experiments like this to just see how everything works out. It does take a prolonged period of time. As now we have Tess inside the party as well, so it's all kicking off. But let's actually give this a go. Matt is saying just me by the sound of things. If you try looking for a checkbox that said something like include audio on stream, if you can find something like that. It should be in the party settings. As we have Tess in as well. Have you got that little checkbox saying including audio on stream?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so Tess should be heard. Hopefully, let me know if he is. So, Tess, we'll start with you then. Welcome to the commentary box for the first time.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
So then, very, very decent session so far. 124.171. That's just been beaten by Ondrejek by about a hundredth of a second. Exactly a hundredth of a second, actually. How's the car felt? Mercedes, first time in the league, first time around this place as well. How's the balance feeling? How's the car?
Really enjoying it at the minute. Practice when okay, enjoying the car, enjoying the game, handling is very, very nice. But yeah, overall very happy with the Mercedes, and I'm very looking forward to the season in a week's time.
Indeed, obviously Mercedes by choice as well. We went on a bit about that for a couple of minutes probably in the stream yesterday. But what was the thinking behind Mercedes? Is there a special reason, or was it just vibes really?
I think since my introduction to F1, first races I watched was the Silver Arrow era, 2014. That's just the car that stood out when I was young. So yeah, I wanted to race with Mercedes, and hopefully I have some success as well.
Indeed, I'm just seeing now we're having EA server issues, because when I'm trying to invite people as well, it just says connecting to online services fixed. I'm just going to hand out a couple of invites now to see if we can get anything done. Noah's been sent one. Matty, I can't find you on my list because apparently you had issues. I will have a look in a bit of time. But yeah, changing from Red Bull to Mercedes, how different is it actually with new engine noises, a new chassis as well? Does it take some getting adjusted to, or is it just straight up performance?
No, straight off the bat, I feel like I've got to grips with the car. It's always been the case with Mercedes. I never really had any issues getting up to speed with engine and whatnot. But yeah, probably happy with the Mercedes. Can't wait for the season to start.
Yeah, indeed, it's going to be a fun one. Obviously, I just have to touch on last season for you. Almost a flawless season. There's a couple of mistakes, obviously in Miami and Portugal, which was a hard race for you. But overall, quite a convincing championship in the end. One of the bigger margins that we had in the F1, especially in the last couple of seasons. How confident were you heading into the season? Obviously, we knew you were going to be quick straight off the bat, taking the lead early, and I don't think you ever let it go, did you? It was a really good season for you. And how confident were you at the halfway point that you could make this stick?
Start of the season, I obviously the thought was there, but I never really put it into my head until maybe after China. Let's say that I can actually do this. I was say the middle of the season, Saudi, China, and there was another race in between. I was thoroughly in control, and I was in my groove. Nathan, I felt like he lost. How can I say? There was a lot of mistakes that just put more confidence into me, and I never really made any mistakes, critical mistakes, during my championship win. So hopefully for this season, I know Nathan's gonna be up there, Matty's gonna be up there, Djokovic will be up there, Ondrej will be up there. So hopefully it's just minimizing any mistakes like last season with Miami and Portugal, and making sure I do my bit. I feel like my pace is there. So it's hopefully just clean through and all battles, but hopefully it'll be a clean sailing season, but I highly doubt it.
Indeed, well, you're looking good at the moment. 100th of Ondrej, who is setting that lap a bit afterwards that you set yours. Obviously, there will be some track improvement coming into play in these type of sessions as well. No Portugal on the calendar now. It's been taken out by the game, otherwise it probably would be on there, so it's a bit of a shame. But Miami's been massively reworked. It's the other track that had slight issues at last season. How do you like the new Miami with the additional grip, especially in Sector 1 coming out of Turn 1, Turn 2, isn't it? How are you going to feel when we approach Miami, which is quite early on in the season? How crucial will it be for you to just have a clean slate of Miami and just completely focus and keep it mistake-free?
On the game side of the track, I feel like is a lot better. I feel like these cars make every track better. But Miami's still one of my weaknesses. So we looked at last season, Miami made a lot of mistakes strategy-wise, and getting caught up in battle very early on, which put me on the back foot straight away. So in terms of Miami this season, just make sure I minimize my mistakes, and hopefully pace will be there, and yeah, hopefully my teammate as well. Did very good at the end of last season, and make it interesting as well with the top guys as well.
Indeed, obviously you and I was remaining in Mercedes together for this season as well. Obviously it was Red Bull last season. Now switched over to Mercedes. Same teammate, just missing out on the Constructor Championship last season, mainly due to the emergence of Ondrej mid-season as well, who picked up the points needed for Williams to just jump ahead at that stage. Just how close do you think you can get, or do you think you can win it this season now with iWatts heading in? Brand new game. iWatts has increased his form over the beginning of last season as well. We saw that at the end of last season, podiums and just really good performances coming every week basically. Just how close do you think you can get this season, or can you go and win the whole thing?
On the back of last season, I feel like me and iWatts got strategy to perfection last season. Before Ondrej, the best race that comes to mind was Vegas, where I won the race, and iWatts came P4. We went on the alternate strategy where no one else did. So I feel like strategy with me and iWatts, I think we're very good teammates, work well with each other, and good vibes in general with iWatts. So that always plays a part. And in terms of not winning the championship together, I think that's just more motivation for me and I was to try and do it, go one better this season. So that'll obviously be the aim. I'm obviously I'm not selfish. I'm gonna help my teammate as much as I can to get up the order because I feel like with how can I say how competitive the league is, 11th, well 13th sets you up very hard in the race because everyone is very competitive. Not how can I say every overtake is very difficult. So by playing my team up to get high up the table, you can have a very successful season.
Indeed, and I do think, by the look of things already, it is going to be a successful season for you. Just coming to wraps with this session then, Check in P1, yourself in P2, Wilco in P3, a bit of a surprise there after qualifying runs, with Matty in P4, Djokovic in 5th, Recon in 6th, so Haas is looking really strong right now, with Wigan, Noah, Samu and Holman making up the top 10, BT just jumping into the top 5 there. Session, your teammate down in 12th, but obviously how much, obviously coming from a driver, how much can you actually tell from a situation like this in a practice session? Just how much pace do you think, if you want to tell, how much pace are in these laps if you really go for it?
You talk about my lap or everyone else's laps?
Yourself and everyone. Well,
Oh,
what's your speculation? How much can we actually how much can we actually look into these lap times for some information?
on my lap, I prefer not to speak. If I speak, I'm in big trouble. So on my lap, I can't say anything. But on
Yes, of
everything
course.
else, I think Holman is looking strong. I think Djokovic has a point to prove this season. He will definitely want to bet on himself. And Noah, Zamu, there's a lot for them. Um, I think they're sandbagging quite a lot. So that those are ones to watch.
Indeed, it's going to be a very interesting season. Right then, we are going to have to jump out of this lobby, everyone, and get the next one underway. And that's going to be a little bit of a process that could be tricky. It's going to take a couple of minutes until we get the session up and running, especially with EA servers apparently being the way they are at the moment. But Tess, thank you very much for joining us, even if it was last minute and a bit late on schedule than what we were planning. But thank you so much for joining us late on, giving us some good insight and some good thoughts for the season.
No worries. Thank you for having me.
Pleasure. We will speak to you over the course of the season, I'm sure, and good luck in the second practice session.
Thank you very much. Ciao.
Alright, have a good one. Closing statements there from our reigning NEF1 champion Tess. BT there, 31 laps completed by the sound of things, and jumping into the top 5 at the end of the session is really quite telling, as we're just going to start up another session here to get this underway, and hopefully this is just going to work straight off now. We'll wait and see. But some interesting remarks there from Tess about how the car feels and what time we're in every other slap. Just going off speculation, he doesn't want to talk on his lap. You would imagine that is him just sandbagging a little bit from a commentator's perspective. And the rumors are always out there that the top guys are sandbagging just that little bit, isn't there? So you would imagine there's a bit of time maybe for Tess to be found. As for the other top guys, maybe a bit more as well, as he was speculating on that the regular guys up there could just go that bit faster if they want to. But it's one of those things that you'll just have to wait and see how everything progresses. All right then, we're going to just get this ready. So now I'll be able to see all the settings we're running at the moment as well. Obviously, I mentioned before it's going to be a clear session now. No rain on the horizon, no damage on. Everyone's just going to get a good chance to do some much deserved practice. We are heading to a bit of a waiting screen where we'll get these invites underway and see what we're going to be able to do for the next session. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with you for the second session of testing here in NEF1. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back in a couple of Alright everyone, we are back, and now with a brand new session up and running in Spain for the second hour of NEF1 testing here. Day 1 out of 2 this launch week. We did a long launch stream yesterday if you're just joining us now. We're into the first day of testing, and with me in the commentary box, you thought you had enough of him yesterday. Nah, he's here for another half an hour. Welcome to the commentary box this time, Matty Adam98. How you doing?
Yep, thank you for having me again. Second session. This is also a little bit of a test of the audio as well for me. Just guys in the chat, just let me know if you can hear my voice. If you can't, then obviously we'll have to get working on it.
Well, if you can't, they won't hear your plea.
Exactly. Yeah.
They won't hear your plead to confirm it, anyways. But unfortunately, says Jace96. Yeah, we can hear your voice. Unfortunately.
Love you too, Jace.
So you are good to ramble on for a little bit.
Say that again, sorry.
You are good to just ramble on for the next 30 minutes or so, and basically until you decide that you want to get out there and join in on the action. Obviously, you're sitting in a garage at the moment, going off that little vantage point as well, so you won't have the best view of everything going on, but you'll have a decent bird's eye view regardless. But I don't imagine too much talk is going to be mainly focused on exactly what's going on track. It'll be a couple of other talking points as well. And if I could just segue into that, I don't know if you heard Tess's interview that we did at the end of the first session just out in Abu Dhabi, but predicting there was quite a bit of pace left for the front runners, but totally unwilling to commentate on his own best lap time. Just as a competitor, first and foremost, what do you think of that? What do you make of it?
It's completely fair enough. I'd do the same in that situation. I mean, I do agree. There's definitely more pace on the table from everybody, I think. The lap times aren't representative at the minute. Obviously, it's just testing. We're just here to test our set necessary tweaks. Just get a feel for the cars in a more relaxed setting. Because obviously we've just been doing time trial and 5-lappers up to this point, so we've been driving quite competitively and mainly on the soft tyres. A lot of these guys will have their first ever runs here on, the mediums and the hards, so they'll be getting those feelings and setup adjustments to the tyre as well, which seems, but has actually become a little bit of a factor here. The tyres that you're on, you might want to run slightly different settings, obviously changeable on track while you're driving. As we're watching Sam Obama at the minute coming up into turn 1 on his first flying lap. We're just going to stick on board with him here.
Yeah, hugging the apex of turn 1 and 2 nicely through turn 3, managing to avoid drifting wide on the exit there, which is quite easily to do on previous games. Don't distract too much on this game regardless, but there's a nice exit coming out of 4 as well, and heading into 5 and 6, then it's a slight little bend coming up underneath you before you turn left into turn 7 and turn 8 on the kink. Just how difficult is this corner just now? Turn 7 and the exit turn 8, which is that yellow sausage grab. Just how difficult is it to get that spot on under pressure?
Yeah, I mean, it's quite a floaty corner as well in the traction. It's been worse in previous games. I think it's made a big improvement on this year's iteration, but it's still a little bit floaty. It does make you hesitate on the throttle every now and again sometimes, but in terms of the yellow sausage curb, you don't really touch it a lot. I mean, you can place your front right tyre on it and you'll get off just fine, like there's no issue. It's if you overstep the mark just a little bit and get your right hand side over that, your car will bottom out. It won't necessarily in a spin, but it will just make you go straight forward and not have any turn and no force feedback either, because obviously your front tyres aren't touching the ground, there's no feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. There's another corner that can kind of have that effect on you as well, and that's the sweeping left-hander now of turn 10, isn't there? If you just start getting on the power a bit too early or turning too aggressively, you can have a massive loss of downforce there and just have one of those slow spins that you can do absolutely nothing about. It's not something that we see in the league regularly. So it might just be a skill issue, but I know I've done it quite a bit, especially on F124.
Yeah, it's similar this game. Turn 10, it's It's not so bad on corner entry. There's still quite a bit of grip. You might actually have some understeer going into the apex from your initial turning point. It's afterwards when I wouldn't even say it's on the apex. It's after. It's mid corner really before the exit, going into the right hander afterwards. That little, it's that bit where you're still turning, you're trying to get as much power down. It can really start to float on you, and that's where that slow spin can creep in. Obviously, a lot of people in this league have good car control. They can just mitigate that a lot of the time. As we look at the two Hasses now going through turn 5, and also Williams just round there in the gravel as well out of turn 5.
And that is
I
a Williams
just
off the
clocked that.
circuit just after the first Hass. You imagine that's Djokovic. Yeah, there's a lot of marbles on those tyres just coming back on, where you can quite easily, by the sound of things, actually really get stuck in the gravel trap. And obviously now you're free to just reset the track, do whatever you need to do to get out of there. But if that's a race scenario, you're out of the race, Matty. That is going
Yeah,
to be harsh, especially on this game. That if you dip a tire in the grass whilst accelerating on this game, you're facing the other way and you're doing it quickly.
yeah, it's at least the mistakes are being made now. This is the main reason why we're here. Obviously, we want to iron out these creases. We've had a few weeks off. It's just nice to get back out on track. Look at everyone going round. I can see Tez and Iwatts already tailing each other here, looking at strategy positions probably.
Yeah, two Hasses running in formation just a moment ago
Yeah.
as well. They've come across the line first and second on the 13.9 and 42 respectively. Your teammate then 7 temps after in P3 as well. But they did have a floaty moment coming out of turn 10 on his first lap that you were on board with, Matt, as well.
Oh, Zamo's just gone round turn 2, exit into turn 3. Sorry to cut you
Where is
off.
Samo? Yeah, he's completely round there. Yellow flags have been triggered then on the
Yeah, that
exit.
was,
You can still get disqualified from a session like this, can't you? You kind of have to be careful on re-entry, just so you don't get a run angle to take too long.
Yeah.
But all good. There and back up.
Yeah, it's just
green flags in sector 1, yellow flags in sector 2. Those are McLaren, who has been claimed by turn 9, as we spoke about. Bit of a tricky corner, and Darren Stahl becomes the first victim of that on this game.
Yeah, and, like you said before, you can still get disqualified. Obviously, it's penalties are still on because we have to have the strict track limits. But you know, my main advice to every single driver here, if you do go off, avoid. That's my main. Just avoid hitting that reverse gear, and avoid trying to come back onto track in any way that would be considered the wrong way. So you're not necessarily going straight back down the track into oncoming traffic, but you may be on a slight angle, a bit closer to going the wrong way, and the game will get you there. It's just always look forward when it comes to that. Obviously, every now and again, if you are stuck and you have to keep the reversing minimal, like if you're into a barrier or something, you just move back probably a couple of meters maximum. Don't try and reverse really far back, so that will just disqualify you on the spot.
Yeah, it is worth pointing out as well that in this session you are free to just reset the track as well, provided you can do so safely without messing anyone's run up. So just look quickly at the track map before you do. But obviously, if you do that in a Grand Prix, you'll be disqualified. And we've seen a couple of those disqualifications now, but it's been a while. None last season, none the season before that, I believe. I know we had one in Miami a couple of years back, but those types of incidents have gone from this league now, thankfully.
Yeah, it's obviously nice to see. But obviously, everyone will have those teething issues when they first join a league. You know, other leagues might allow resetting to track. We don't. Obviously, it does provide an unfair advantage in a way. But yeah, just make sure you're not happy on the pause button, especially when you go for a spin. For those new guys that are in this league now.
Yeah, it gets very easy and very tempting to just quickly do that reset the track button, doesn't it? But then, obviously, a suggestion to everyone: just practice your flex spins heading into this league, because you will have a spin over the course of the season in qualifying on the races. No one's prone to a completely fake season, I don't think. So, Matty, just how's your flick spin on this new game feeling? How solid do you think it is?
Oh, I love doing it. It's,
Yeah, it's a satisfying
it
thing to
is.
get absolutely spot on when you're coming straight off and with quite a bit of traction as well on the, say, exit of the flick spin, should be said.
Yeah, there is a bit of a technique to it. Once you get it, I don't think it'll ever leave you. It's kind of like riding a bike. Once you know how to do it once on any game, you can just carry it on to the next. It's the same mechanic. It's not really that much difference. In the way it actually affects you, it will. Obviously, tyre grip and tyre forces are different on this game to the previous iterations, but the actual mechanic itself is the exact same.
Yeah, it is the same. But do you ever get frustrated when you have to do it? So you just press down the throttle just that bit too hard, and you go around a full lap. I would assume just knowing my temper and obviously how good I am at racing now, I'd probably go a full lap round now if I was in a competitive environment. But do you ever get like so frustrated that you just mess those up?
Not really, no, because it's there's just a way, like, you know how to do it, and you know when you fire on the throttle, and the moment you actually feel the car lose grip is when you stop fire on. You just let go, and the car will just swing round on its own. So there's never you're not really on the throttle for more than a second at a time.
Yeah, it is one of those maneuvers that are just absolutely beautiful to see executed to perfection, though,
Well,
isn't it?
how about this? After I come off the commentary, I'll go out and do one.
I go out and safely do a little flick spin
Yeah.
for you. We'll try to keep an eye on it. Obviously, do so safely, but
Yeah,
it would
yeah.
be fun to see a well executed little flick spin. So, Matty, no pressure now. We're just gonna be watching. No pressure at all. As
Yeah.
Darren Stahl now is coming, wanted to try and improve on his lap. He's not going to do so on this lap. 2 seconds down, just letting go off the final corner.
Yeah, McLaren's
How
in
regular do you think that
formation.
is, that people just let go off the final corner to not actually improve on a lap?
Yeah, it does happen a lot. It's one of them, especially in situations like this where you're doing pre-season testing and you don't want to give anybody any information on how quick you are. It's always quite convenient to just out of the final corner. Not a lot, but just have to drop you half a second down, and then that half a second it's there obviously, and you're fast enough to get it, but they don't know, but they won't know what your ceiling is either. That's the key thing.
Yeah, of course. What I like to do, if possible, is just find those moments where someone tries to be a bit cheeky and just absolutely call them out on it. I believe it is a bit of my role as commentator, isn't it, to just be that bit annoying to those types of attempts. Well, how frustrated would you be if I started calling you out, for example? How annoying can something like that actually be?
Not really, because there's no pressure in these situations. You're not actually trying, if you will. So when it gets called out, it's kind of nose getting off my nose. You know what I mean? Like it wouldn't affect me. Let's put it that way. Keep doing it. To be honest, it's a strategic thing more than it is anything else. So I'm just making sure that nobody knows what my ceiling is.
Yeah, absolutely. It is one of those things that's just a bit of fun as well, trying to conceal your pace from the guys you believe you're going to be racing it this season as well. Right now as well, I want to point out the pace of those two Hasses, Recon and Mr. Wilco, that have a quite significant advantage in this session. They have set those tires on V's, or they have set those laps on soft tires, mind you, as well. So that's going to be a bit of an advantage just to start off the session.
Yeah, Holman as well with the fastest sector one time. So that does show, and that's on the hards as well. So it's quite telling, shall we say. A lot of high-speed corners in sector 1, 1, 2 and 3, all demanding with grip, and a set of hard tyres has got the fastest sector time. Recon is, he's quite frankly dominating sector 2 and sector 3 at the minute on those soft tyres. Mr. Wilcox is sitting with the happy medium in second place, no purple sectors.
And you have access to things that I don't at the moment. I quite envy the fact I'm not able to see the sector times, because obviously that can be quite tough, especially in a session like this. So EA just put that into the game, or Codemasters put that into the game, should be said. But is there anything else that's out. I'm curious to see, where does BT lose that time? Is it all throughout the lap, or is it one particular sector that he might be backing off a bit in?
Let me just have a look. So he obviously is currently sat in 15th place for the 1:17.2. He's losing his time by the looks of things in the final sector, so that could be a lift off before the line. He's currently setting a 20. Well, he's currently set a 23.3 in the third sector. Everybody else is sitting in the 22s.
This is very analytically inclined. I'd love to have someone along with me who actually does this on co-commentary as well throughout the season. Unfortunately, did be forced in spectator mode to take up a seat. You know what I figured out a couple of days ago? When F1 26 releases, we'll be having to fill the 22 car lineup as well.
Yeah, we will. That's a good one. Either that, or we could just field the 20 car lineup and have
And get rid of the ugliest car.
that, and we could have your co-commentator, if you end up having one, in the garage, just looking at the screens in qualifying. Obviously, the race will be a bit of a situation, but they just have to.
It'd be like the medical car, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
It'd be like the medical car that follows through on the first half of the lap and then disappears into an escape road,
bits, yeah.
never to be seen again. And once in about 2 or 3 years, we see the medical car in action, don't we? But it's not often. So it'd be a situation like that. But it's definitely food for thought, as Noah just comes through on his ugly 10th lap on that soft tire. One thing that just strikes me on this game, and obviously I'm on Xbox, I'm a bit limited as well in terms of performance. I'm not on you guys' PC level, but I would imagine my running this game is actually better. It's a constant frame rate and just absolutely no sort of visual issues whatsoever. This game looks gorgeous in comparison to the old one. It looks sharper, it looks cleaner, the colors are better, the tarmac is better. It's a massive step up graphically from what we've had previously, and I think that goes for on stream as well.
Yeah, it really is. Obviously, I've sang its praises since its release. It's such an improvement on even last year's iteration. Like the way they've reprofiled the tires as well. Like you can physically see the wear on your tires. It almost looks like cross hatching, and you can see gradually the shiny surface getting worn away and become more of a matte surface. The road as well, like the tarmac or the asphalt or what material it's used, it's brilliant. You can see every little imperfection in the road, every tyre mark put down over the years. It's such a massive improvement, and especially with rain effects as well. How the track looks under wet conditions or greasy conditions, it's a lot more realistic as well.
Yeah, I think really, obviously, a lot of critique has been thrown at, well, especially EA, which I find a bit interesting, but Codemasters as well. That the F1 games have gone, well, basically since F1 2021. But for this one, they've absolutely blown it out of the park for me. It's one of the best F1 games in recent years, if not the best, obviously. It's the best by far since 21.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's just the way, like I say, the way the game looks, the way the game feels, the way the cars handle. There's no strangeness with it. Like obviously we all remember what the release first 2 weeks of F1 24 was like, where you could move the steering wheel probably 2 degrees and be able to take the lowest hairpin at Monaco. Like there's always something amiss, whereas this game just doesn't feel like that. It feels like it's planted and it's reliable straight away. I feel like I know what the car can do.
Yeah, it is a massive step up. So honestly, kudos to Codemasters and up a game like this that I think is going to be really good for league racing as well. And hopefully, just going off the obviously I've raised quite a bit of the AI now at this point as well, where the trains have actually disappeared, thank God. I really hope we can get an environment like that in league racing as well, where we don't have these massive trains anymore and actually get some nice flowing old school racing.
Yeah, it's always better with the strategic element. Obviously talking drivers a lot of the races last season were DRS trains, and they're just stressful. That's the only word I can really use to describe them, because there's no incentive. You're just sitting behind in a train. You can't make any inroads on the guy ahead. The person behind can't make any moves on you. It's just, you are just effectively doing another practice session in a way, just as a train, and then it'll all come to the last couple of laps because everyone starts to get desperate, and then you'll start to see, petty mistakes and audacious dive bombs and things like that, which can cause accidents. And it's just a lot better having the strategic element in there, as we saw in Brazil last season. Like, there was a lot of strategy involved. There wasn't really a train, and it was more who had the better strategy, what was the alternate strategy saying as well. I was running on the hards for 20 laps in that race, and I had people stopping twice behind me and getting close, and there was always an air of uncertainty, especially with the strategy.
Yeah, and obviously it does a lot more to a race, especially if you have a safety car as well, knowing that everyone's on a different type of plan, different run plan, different strategy. If it's a 2-stop, 3-stop, or even a 1-stop, then it just does wonders to a race, a safety car. Whereas if it's a long DRS train, you just know that everyone's getting rid of the mandatory 1-stop, and just probably going to try to go to the end. Because we've not had too many safety cars in the NEF1 recently either, have we?
No, the driving standards has been amazing. Last couple of seasons we've had really, really good, clean, fair driving. Obviously, every now and again, stuff happens. In a battle, one person will take it just a little bit too far. Obviously, they do it with the best intentions of trying to be clean and everything like that, but it'll just happen. And a safety car, obviously, from a driver's perspective, if I was dominating the race, a safety car would be probably the worst thing to ever happen. So that's just that the different mindset as well with stuff like that. Obviously, when you're leading a race, being in a DRS train's not too great either, because obviously you don't have DRS, you're struggling with people behind. It's quite a 50-50 scenario.
Indeed, it is. Obviously, you and I both admins, we sit and handle the incidents that do get reported in. There's been such a noticeable decrease in the amount of incidents we actually get sent into us, and that is also a result of there's not a lot of incidents happening now. A couple of seasons ago, there was 4 or 5 sent in at least every race. Now it's not uncommon for us to actually have a weekend where we look at 1 or even no incident, and that's just a good feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, it also helps us because we don't have to sit there for hours and hours and hours debating.
Yeah, do you remember the Belgian Grand Prix admin meeting a couple of seasons ago?
Yeah,
fun, wasn't it?
It was, well, good one is definitely not the right choice of words, I think.
It was an interesting one.
It was interesting, yeah, and obviously the Spanish Grand Prix a couple of seasons before that as well. We had upwards of 4 or 5 hour meetings just deciding, what course of action. Obviously, we do these things, and we're not perfect. We will make mistakes, but we obviously try and do it with the best intentions of making it as integral, keeping it as fair as possible. And like I said just then as well, integrity is the main thing. We want to make sure that everything is above board and we're completely free of bias. Obviously, for me as a driver, if you're not aware, if I was involved in an incident and it was reported, I would not be allowed to have any deliberation on that incident, so it would just be the people that aren't involved, which I pride us on. We were able to take out any kind of bias and make a clean, as best decision as we can. Obviously, like I say, we don't get everything right, and that's just part of the human factor. We're people just like the drivers. Everybody makes mistakes, but a lot of the times I like to think we get things right.
Yeah, absolutely, and obviously we do have a system in place as well to make sure that the drivers can actually challenge us every now and again by requesting. Any single clip that we've looked at is going to be disclosed in the stewardship report. Just any driver, even if you're not involved in that incident, can actually request that clip to be able to see it and see what the outcome was. And obviously just keep us honest. It's not used too much. It's been used once or twice this season, but not too often. So that's something I actually implore a couple of drivers to do the course of the season. Just do a test and see what the incident was, and just you get a completely different feeling for what type of decision making or how hard it actually is when you get the incident in front of you like that. And obviously we could have 3, maybe even 4 different vantage points of an incident and have to make one decision coming off that. It's not easy, but we've done it for 5 years together now.
Yeah, and obviously the more times you do it, the better it becomes, the easier the admin meetings get. I think, what was the average admin meeting time last season? Last season about an hour, something like that.
Yeah,
like,
they decreased massively.
Yeah, it's come down a lot, especially since the early days when we were having 2-3 hour meetings, which is obviously nice. It lets us get on with our night as well afterwards. Like, we're not spending our entire evening deliberating incidents.
Yeah, it is nice getting that bit of extra time as well. But with that, obviously, trying to expand the league, trying to come up with a couple of different things to do as well that just take time. The streams are incredibly more complex now than they were in the beginning. Take up quite a bit of time to just arrange, even if you don't see it from, even if you don't immediately notice it. Quite a bit goes into them. Same as preparation for obviously you drivers now. It's a lot more practice than it was in the early stages. I can imagine I showed up to the first couple of races having done a little practice, being able to be competitive. Now I could probably do 200 laps around a circuit and finish P7, P8. So a lot of things have happened to make this league in general more time consuming as well.
Yeah, and I just want to turn your attention actually to Sam Obama at the minute. I don't think he's on track. He is on track. Yeah, he is on track.
He's on a set of hard tyres, having previously set the quickest lap of the session on a set of softs.
Yeah, so he's just set that lap time. Yeah, he set that 1:13, 1:85 on a set of soft tyres. I just want to turn your attention now. Also, you don't have this, but his sector times. So he's currently missing out in the 3rd sector, only by just under 1/10 of a second to Noah in 2nd place. But he is quite convincingly ahead in the 1st and 2nd sector at the moment. So the gaps right now, so Zamo set a 21.797 to Noah's 21.980 first sector. Sector 2, Zamo's currently got a 29.5 to Noah's 30.0. Like, there's almost half a second, sorry, there's almost, half a second in there.
Yeah, that is a big gain in each individual sector, and especially if Samo could even break up more pace in the 3rd sector. Obviously, we don't know how the cars are set up, and it could be that Samo's car is just naturally slower through that. But seeing signs this from Samo, a driver that didn't see too much of in the first practice session, now is doing significantly better here in the second one. Obviously, you'll probably jump in a little bit of time to get a feel for it as well. But just what are your other takes? Having a look at the lineup as it is now, having a look at where everyone is on the standings. Just what are your initial thoughts? Because I'm having a very hard time. Oh, as BT spins through the exit of turn 8, they're heading into turn 9. It's a bit unfortunate.
Yeah, so he got the sausage curve there, so that's what can happen.
Yeah, indeed. Can you still go flat over the curb on the outside of turn
10? Over the curb on the outside of turn 10?
Yeah, the exit.
That'd be turn 9, that. The flat out right-hander.
Yeah, the flat out right-hander would, I think, be designated as 10.
Alright. I'm sure it's 9. I'm sure 10's the long left-hander.
We'll wait and see. An easy Google search will solve that one.
Yeah, it will.
We'll get that done off the stream just for.
We'll agree to disagree for now. Yeah, but yeah, you can sit over that exit curve flat. It doesn't really disturb the car. Obviously, you don't want to get too much over it because you're possibly looking at lap invalidations or track limits warnings during a race. But yeah, it's quite an inoffensive curve. You can go over it. The main thing is trying to get the DRS open, because where the DRS line is, you are still turning at that point. So you are trying your best to by that point, but it is a bit difficult sometimes, especially in higher tyre wear.
Mr. Wilco now, and he's just come across it. Yeah, it is still very much on the exit of the corner, that DRS line, which is this maybe the most unnecessary DRS zone in Formula 1?
It's definitely close. Like, you're already going through there at about 160 miles an hour, so you're already at a really high speed coming out of that corner. By the time you get down to turn 10, there's just no not advantage to be gained really. That's one of the main, I'd say, problems with this track and how it's been officiated. Obviously, the pit straight is a more than fine DRS zone, but it should be the only one really on the track. There's no real need. I mean, you'll get every now and again a decent advantage going into turn 10, but it's so few and far between. It's almost negligible.
Yeah, and obviously since they've reprofiled turn, we'll see if it's turn 10 or turn 11. We'll settle on that a bit later. Since they've taken out the hard braking zone of the left-hander after the DRS straight, overtaking, I find here, has actually been made harder than what it used to. But that's coming from the guy who enjoyed trying to pull moves off into the chicane in Sector 3. So obviously I had a weird way of racing this circuit, but I don't think, obviously, it's a much more flowing than was previously, but I think genuinely for racing on league racing, that is, the old configuration was actually better.
Yeah, possibly. I think the compromise there would be keep the hairpin of turn 10 and get rid of the chicane. That'd be the main compromise, but they've gone back to what is essentially the 90s layout completely.
It's exactly the 90s layout.
Yeah, it's very nice to drive, let's put it that way, on a quality lap. Obviously the race, it can provide a decent race every now and again. It's more a strategic race than it is a race that you'll see many overtakes on.
Yeah, and obviously now we've done the last actual Formula 1 race around this circuit as well, haven't we? It's Madrid from next year onwards.
Yeah, it's the end of an era, really, isn't it? Because it's been there since the early 90s now. It's had a long stay on the calendar, and it's kind of bittersweet to see it go. I mean, we have to see it. Like, obviously, the reception it got is quite negative. But
yeah, it's been horrid.
You don't really know what it's going to be like until they finally go racing. So I wouldn't take any of that reception that it has to gospel. I'd just take it with a pinch of salt.
Yeah, you'll just have to wait and see how it actually drives, isn't it? It feels similar to Valencia, is what I'm scared of, because obviously that track is hard and Madrid doesn't feel far off it. It's the same kind of visually unappealing circuit as well, whereas Barcelona, Catalunya, it's an absolutely gorgeous place to go to.
Yeah, you know what's funny actually? I remember driving the old Valencia circuit on NEF1 2012, and it was one of my favourite tracks to drive. It was quite fun, and I mean, you look at it now, like you see videos of it nowadays, and it's a track now. It's not even used at all. There's nothing there anymore. You can see like every now and again like the curbs that are still there, but there's weeds growing out of where the racing line would be. It's a weird, almost dystopian sight.
Yeah, and there's nothing more haunting than an abandoned racetrack as well. It's actually horrifying.
But I will say, it is in the last half an hour, so I'm going to go and have a go at this track and see how I do.
That sounds good. Got 26.5 minutes remaining. So obviously, what'll be your strategy heading into this one? Do you maybe just skip that hards and go straight onto the medium tires, see what you can do?
Yeah.
A lot of people already setting quite competitive lap times on the softs.
Yeah, it'll definitely be going on to the... we won't do a full race run during this remainder of the session, just to get a few laps representative in, maybe do a couple of push laps on the mediums, see how they look on the leaderboard, and then move on to the softs and try and hit Noah's time.
Absolutely, currently leading the session on 13 flat, then just out of Samo by a tenth and a half. Matty, thank you very much for joining us in the commentary booth once again. I'm sure I'll speak to you over the course of the season as things progress. Best of luck to you in the next 25 minutes.
Yep, thanks for having me again. Peace out, everybody. I'll see you on track.
It is always a pleasure, Matty. Have a good one.
Yep, you too, my friend. See you in a bit.
Alright then, so that was Matty Adam 98 with a couple of thoughts and a lot of insight as to how this track and how this game drives as well. We're starting to see a lot of people onto that red stripe soft tire now. The stream appears to be lagging just that little bit again. So please let me know if that becomes unbearable, but I do already have a fix or two in mind that I'll be trying out for day 2 of testing coming up on Thursday. That is, so don't miss out. We'll be having more guests on Van. We're expecting interviews from both Sam Obama and Squidge 2017 absent from this first day of testing with technical difficulties as well. Sondercheck is just now heading into pit lane. Luna is having a much better session this time out than in Abu Dhabi, currently in 5th place on a 13.7. BT being up there on a 13.8 on a set of medium tires. Is that the tire that they set that lap on? It is, so there's time to be found for a BT. Was that a promising start to this game? And this is what me and Matty were talking about yesterday, is that if you can just get a start like this, start building up the results, that confidence will grow back and you will start seeing BT propel himself further and further up the field because it's a very, very quick driver. Djokovic jumps up there a little bit into P8 on a 13.955 on a sort of medium tires. So that is slightly slow of an AB. It could be a positive sign for the Canadian British driver as well. Racing now from McLaren as well. Obviously having shared that team in NEF1 history with Djokovic, although never at the same time, I don't believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think so, no. It was a while ago, if nothing. Max in P10 then, having had a bit of an anonymous session so far, with Jamar in P11 on set of medium tires on a 114.670, so it's time to be found for sure. And Reina in 12th, then very, very anonymous for the Mercedes duo of Tess and Iwat. I would imagine that's by choice, especially for Tess, but Iwat as well. Definitely time to be found. Darren Stahl is struggling with engine braking from what we had in setup settings. He's currently sitting 15th, fastest. Matty Adam is yet to go out on track. That is going to happen any minute now, I am sure. And we'll wait and see if we get that flick spin as well. I'm not going to hold him to it, but it'll be interesting if we do get it. So then, 22 and a half minutes to go. And my voice is starting to wear down. I should have probably gotten a bottle of water or something in here, because it does get warm and intense just speaking this. For, well, a good couple of hours now. We're coming up to the 2-hour mark. Of we not already past it? No, we're just on it. As I say that, actually. So let me check out this DRS. At pointless DRS straight. And we have both Mercedes out on track doing laps as well. 13th and 14th place. We're 119 minutes into this stream. So that's 2 hours now. So a lot longer this session than the race sessions would obviously be. It's 18 minutes worth of qualifying in NEF1 now, followed by a race that's usually about 45 minutes. So it's almost twice the distance these drivers can put into their runs if they fancy. But a lot of guys have done a lot of laps now as well. I don't think we can get a lap count out. We can't. But he beat it a lot in Abu Dhabi, we know that for sure, and if he's done a similar amount of laps on Spain, he'll be going into the next day, very well informed, where we're heading for Silverstone in reverse for a practice session, so that's going to be a bit interesting, but it's going to tell the drivers quite a lot setup wise, I reckon. Obviously, one of the little details I'm just loving on this game is the added sponsors of the helmets. Well, from riding just so much better than standardized now. And everyone's actually gone with a nice custom helmet design as well, which is actually mandated by league rules, believe it or not. As Ondercheck moves up to P2 then for Racing Bulls, not RB, it's a Racing Bulls 1-2 now. Samo, Bama, and Matty's actually out on that lap. We've not seen the flick spin if we've missed it, but he's going through sector 1 at the moment on the sort of medium tires, getting very much on the curb on the exit of what I think is turn 5, 6, 7, 8, and now coming up to turn 9 in my opinion. Yeah, turn 9, yeah, I'm gonna have to back out of that. That was entirely my bad. So me and Matty have settled that without a argument, which is usually doesn't happen in anime. It's usually a bit about something. We settled this one nicely. So congratulations, Matty. I'm gonna have to back down on that one. You are absolutely right. Matty then coming across the line for the first time and up into 15th place. So that is the smallest of leaps imaginable, from 16th to 15th on a 15th. A lot of 15 in that sentence, but I think I made it work quite well. Djokovic then sitting in P10, followed by Recon and Makis in P12. Let's see what the Aston Martin driver is going to be able to do over the course of this lap. I don't think his tyres are necessarily too new, but actually they're a lap old. So then coming up to the sector 1 split of the Hamilton-Rosberg corner. And he is just improving by a bit, and it's not going to be an improvement on this lap, let me tell you that, because he goes straight off and into the gravel, and that now takes quite a while to get the marbles completely off the tyres as well, apart from this session where it just needs to be completely about the limits. But it could be a while before he gets full grip on those tyres again. He's running for the final corner now. He's not here. 437. Luna's having a much better practice session now than in Abu Dhabi. I mentioned that previously, but she's 7 with her teammate in 9th. Ullman having a good showing as well right now, but to 4th place and having a significant better session than his teammate. The top 3 of Noah, Onracek and Samo Bam with 18 minutes to go. So this night is coming to its end. It's been a quick half an hour when you have Matty. It's a bit easier just being able to bounce off someone than doing it by yourself. So Beatty has found a gravel trap on the outside of turn 5. As here goes Recon flat through that sweeping right and onto the DRS straight in the Haas. That looks absolutely superb. This game looks very good in all lightings. We've established this under practice now, so next day as well be Silverstone. Probably just throw on a bit of overcast conditions there just for the sake of it, and then I'm thinking a nice day to night transition at Bahrain for the last practice session as well. There will be a proper practice session because that is the place we're going racing on just a weekend late on next Monday at 9 PM. So these sessions start at 8 PM and last for about 2.5 hours with transition times between lobbies. The race will start at 9 PM. We'll run at about the same time, obviously, with 1 hour less of running time. Obviously being delayed. So they end at about the same time. I don't know what time it's now, but it should be creeping up on 10 minutes past. As Regan's being let go by the McLaren there, I believe that was a BT. Yeah, he's still going very, very slowly, and he's been off the second. So Williams or an Alpine. Could that be Matty? Now that's Sam Obama coming up on the something after Matty there, taking very much to the escape road. Bit of a convenient escape road that if you really let's you get away truly. But it's one of those escape roads that'll be very nice for drivers to actually learn. If you start having that snap of oversteer, it could be race ending. Maybe just aim for the escape road. Tess has shown us the other one now. It's quite beneficial to actually use in the actual Grand Prix, wasn't it? So Tess then having jumped all the way up in 4th place with 1:13.192. We don't have the sector times now to see if there's significant time loss in any of the sectors. There's a McLaren round, there's not a beat this time. Darren Styles had an issue in sector 2. But the test then strayed up into contention for the top honours once again. That's where we expect to see him for the start of the season as well. But up at a P4 and a 13.192, and Tesla driver who's not going to show his pace up until the final moment of qualifying in Bahrain. as iWatts now has left the session and retired in the pit lane, so we'll be seeing him again for hopefully day 2, as the attendance message for that will go out tomorrow to anyone who's currently watching the stream involved in the league. The attendance for the next session will come out tomorrow. And Reina now going through Sector 2 as well. Quite a good looking car that actually boards as well. So it's a better green than it was last year. A bit more coherent now with the green halo and the actual green nose as well. So then coming up to the Sector 2 split, nibs the tyre in the gravel, and that's gonna do really bad thing to their lap. Mr. Wilco's heading into turn 1 and 2. Beautiful apex on the apex of turn 2. Nice and tidy on turn 3 as well. Driven in a bit wide mid corner. Nothing to be concerned about. That'll probably be a quite optimal line. Not hitting the apex though of turn 4 is going to cost you quite a bit of time. The downhill braking into 5. Quite tricky to get right, but rewarding when you do get it. Straight on the power on the exit and power down to the left right of that'll be 7 and 8. And for the right-hander of turn 9, maybe just a downshift, as Tess is now retired from the session as well. Maybe just a downshift going through that flat right-hander, just to give that car that extra rotation and torque on the exit to just power down the straight as well. But you don't have to lift off. Same with this corner if you have a car that's properly set up for it. Again, I'd probably just recommend going down a gear perhaps, but you can take it very much flat out. And Mr. Wilco improves by 2.5 tenths of a second. Up past them, Rain and Holman, I believe, just got the better off and into P5. It's a good showing for Mr. Wilco right now. It's a very good showing for him. Djokovic then on the hunt, and it's going to be a quick lap. It's 13.367, 3 tenths off provisional P1. Very good indeed. I just found the lap counter actually. It's been staring at me all session. So let's have a go here. 13 laps for Noah, 14 for Ondrejek, 23 laps for Sam Obama's quite telling. Anything else that sticks out? It's a lot of people around 15 to 22 laps. We can span the grid in. The one outlier is Sam Oban, who's done significantly more. So then lap 24, that's competitive laps mind you, barring any outlaps or in-laps I think. As Matty's jumped his way straight up into the top 5 as well with a 13.25 lap. T, who takes a very weird line coming into turn 3. As Ondrejek. We had lobby issues previously. That lobby issue, I think, has gone on into this one. It's just decided to completely kick me out of it, and I think it's kicked everyone out of it. That might be a very sad ending to the first day of testing, and hopefully these aren't any types of issues that we have throughout the game cycle. I'm just waiting for any type of reply from what's going on, if that's a me issue or if it's a someone else issue. But right now I'll assume it's a everyone problem, judging off the errors that was previously. And that could be the end of the practice session. We'll see. There's about 15 minutes left to go, if that session even still exists. I'm not seeing any outrage in the comments at the moment, so that might just be me absolutely kicked out of it. So I'm going to give it a go and see if I can get back into it, if you just hold on for a brief moment here. Okay, so I believe that lobby still exists, but the question is, can we get back into it, is the question. I believe we can. Okay, that issue was quite easily rectified, but it is something that we'll have to troubleshoot for the season upcoming, and it's good that these things happen now, and instead of in the races. We've had 1 or 2 events like these over the last couple of seasons, and it is always a shame when it affects the race broadcast. So, testing Van the Grand Prix, so I'm sure everyone can agree on that. And we're back in. So Noah's retired from this session now as well, with Undercheck, Tess, Jamar, and Iwatts. Only a couple of people remaining now. Samuel with prime position to take this session then, if he improves by another couple of thousands. Matty in P5, Mr. Wilco in P6, Djokovic in P7 with 10 minutes go, and Reina, Holman, and Luna in 8th, 9th, and 10th with the green cars. Then Mac is in 12th, separated by a BD. So a lot of things are going to go on potentially in the last 10 minutes if we don't have any more connectivity issues. This way we don't. Recon having a bit of a disappointing session right now in 13th, but as said, it is just testing. We don't know the run plans of anyone. We don't know what his true pace is. Just he sends it into the wall, heading into the penultimate corner. Style currently sitting in 16th, again with that technical difficulty from before, potentially just plaguing his setups a little bit here. As here comes the lone Williams this session of Djokovic. We need to leave a bit earlier. But Djokovic carrying the flag nicely for Williams at the moment. P7 is still far off where he'd want to be, but it's only 3 attempts up until you're P3, and I'm sure Djokovic is going to be able to find that pace within a good push lap. See, he is on a set of soft tyres coming up to the sector 2 split as well. And he is finding that time at the moment. Djokovic on pace to go fastest out of anyone. And I believe Djokovic, if he is able to do that, I don't quite have the results of the first session in my head, would be one of the big winners of the first day of testing here. One of the drivers that looks the most convincing when properly on. And this is a game that should suit him, as Djokovic does go fastest by 1/10 and a half. So this is convincing stuff now from Djokovic, and it's going to feel very, very good for him to start getting back into that groove and find momentum, as Matty now is aiming to improve, you would imagine, into P1 as well. But he's running without a front wing at the moment. That looks like a Formula E car coming off the offboards. Okay, so it's not a glitch-free game, this. It looks a bit fun. It looks like Matty's joined Formula E for whatever reason. It looks horrid. Does anyone else miss a front wing by any chance? Nah, it's just Matty. There's a remarkable amount of downforce on that car for not having a front wing, and especially since he does go faster on this lap by 1/10 of a second as well. That's impressive without not even without a front wing, without an entire front nose cone. That should be an absolute roadblock for airflow. I'm actually quite surprised that they've modelled a very, very decent hitch for the front wing, as you can see there on the what I'm going to say is the beginning of the caravan. There's an actual front wing hitch modelled onto the car. That's actually quite nice. So any actual F1 teams, if you wanna well pay for the way that I put the front wing on, you got it straight there. Just come out, and we'll supply you with the screenshots of it as speed goes into a fastest on a 13.460. So that's about 6 yeah, exactly 6 off provisional P1. And Rain and Holman in the pit lane, and Luna coming out of it. Mac is in 12th, Recon in 13th, and a lot of people now leaving this session. Can we please get a front nose cone onto the front of that Alpine? That's a nice thumbnail if we need. If not, I think we'll around the place without a front wing. Sam Obama, the other Alpine actually has a 100% completed car on it, so it should be significantly quicker. So let's see if a beat is going to be able to improve further in these last couple of minutes. As we're getting feedback Tess here, saying decent day of testing. It's been a very, very decent day for Tess indeed. Not showing too much though, but I think we can guarantee that there is more pace inside that Mercedes that it just doesn't want to tap into quite. And I don't think we'll see that pace at all up until the actual qualifying session in Bahrain. So don't hold your breath for day 2 either. We're going to see the massive lap times from Tess, apart from potentially Bahrain. We'll wait and see. I don't think it's going to give it away too much in the practice session either. As we apparently lost Matty's flick spin as well. He did one and we just switched over to someone else just before that. So that's very unfortunate. It's now 5 minutes to go. Most everyone in the pit lane apart from Luna and Recon. What is Luna able to do on this lap? 7/10 slower than her previous best going through the second sector. So then coming into the pit lane, potentially gearing up for final melee as well. Have Alpine fitted a nose to Matty's car? No, they have not. It's a weird looking car for Matty Adam 98. I don't know if that's connectivity issues or if it has anything to do with what I just saw. Djokovic's left this session as well, so we're now starting to see people head off for the night. It's quite late. The time in Sweden probably getting quite close to 11:30. Which is significant, as I believe we're about to see a nice little flick spin from Matty Adam. No pressure on. Ah, but it's a thing of beauty, the flick spin from Matty there. It's a solid 8 out of 10. Would have been a 9.5 if we just kept the momentum through the flick spin and just straight forward afterwards. Unfortunately, there was a little bit of a pause. Drags the rating down to a solid 8. But it is it's well executed at Matty Adams, so kudos to you. Best moment of practice so far. Matty Adams spinning his car around for no apparent reason, as Mr. Wilco is currently abandoning his lap for a little more reason. So he is going to be going strong in about a minute's time for what is going to be his proper final go at it. A couple of people left in the pit lane, about 5 cars. That's Matt in the pit lane, would be. So that is BTM, Reina, Matty, Macas, and Darren still in the pit lane. Now 3 minutes to go. You need about 1:45 to do an effective manner, and Holman getting very close to the edge of that Haas. One of whom just retired onto the circuit. We're not going to judge that too much. I think that's a practice session, but if we do that in a race, then it would be quite a harsh penalty for actions like that. Holman Van is going through the third and final sector for probably the second last time. Let's see, we're 140 minutes into the stream now, so it's been going for a good while. I'm quite surprised it didn't end the stream. They kicked me out of the lobby, actually. Reina now has retired from this session as well, and we're only left with 7 cars on the field. So it's an endurance practice session. There's 2:20 to go, and a couple of people haven't yet to come out for their final runs. And I'm starting to wonder if they will. We're seeing movement down at Alpine. We can't really see that Garrett from that visual. But we are seeing movement down at McLaren. That's a BT coming out of his grid box down in the middle of your screen right now. So BT is coming out for one final go at this. We should be seeing Matty out realistically quite soon as well. As for the other McLaren, nothing seemingly going on at the moment. What's scaring me is there's no nose cone on it yet again. Let's see if Darren likes to come out one more time here. Mr. Wilco then has loaded up to go one last time here around the Spanish GP circuit. 7/10 of a second down immediately. Luna coming up to the second split, just a 10th behind her personal best, so it is possible to drag that in. As for Darren Starr, won't be seeing him again this session. Neither will we see Matthew with a minute to go. So very much coming to a close. Luna, is she going to be able to improve through the last sector and make anything of this lap? Because this is going to be the last go at it. No, fails to improve by 600ths of a second, stays 12th fastest. Holman then, and Mr. Wilco, who might be giving it a go. Holman going to be able to do through the first sector. Almost matches it, but not quite. 500ths of a second down. So then the session is drawn to a close. Matty and Mac is in the session 5th and 13th fastest. Darren starts the pit lane. He'll be finishing the session in 16th and last. Been a disappointing session for him, plagued by potentially technical difficulties as well. Luna's going to finish in 12th place, with Holman with that little mistake going to finish no higher than 10th as well. So we're looking realistically, Mr. Wilco not improving at all through the first sector, and not even close for the second sector. That leaves BT potentially coming through the final sector. That could propel up the order. We'll see. Matches his time in the first sector, doesn't improve on it, just a couple of thousandths of a second down. So then, Djokovic at the moment looks like allowed the command of the first day of testing, followed by Noah, Samo, Ondrejek and Matty. There's a lot of blue inside that top test, which is technically also blue in P6. Mr. Wilco and Beat is going to be finishing this session in 7th. Beat is going to be finishing this session in 8th. I was meant to say. Emreina in 9th, Holman in 10th. Followed by Recon, Luna, Mackers, Jamar with a bit of a weird session, not really getting off the rails in that Ferrari. Iwat in 15th and Darren a 16th in McLaren. Keep in mind, this is a track that we're not racing this upcoming season, if I'm not mistaken, as well. I should have memorized the calendar now, but I actually haven't. But it's a nice little day of testing, see what everyone's made of, and them getting used to the wrong cars as well. It's been a good day of testing for BT as well. Promising signs, especially in Abu Dhabi with that late P5 coming across the line. That's going to be those encouraging signs that you want heading into the new season. It's a day off tomorrow. Everyone feel free to take the evening to do whatever you wish, because we'll be back on it in about, 46 hours time on Thursday at 8 p.m. for even more practice around Silverstone Reverse and Bahrain. But until then, thank you very much for tuning in tonight. It's been a pleasure having you here as always. We will see you in a couple of days time then. Stay safe. Peace out. This has been day 1 of testing for NEF1 Season 10. We'll see you for day 2. Have a good one. Stay safe and peace out.